So hi everybody, welcome to another Spur of the Moment. We had a follow-up question about the roundpenning, about when and why to ask a horse to turn in.
That's going to be difficult to answer, don't you think?
Yeah.
It's going to depend on so many
things.
different things. Do you have a good answer for that?
Yeah, I would actually think it would be easier to ask when wouldn't you call a horse back into you
Right.
in the round pen? Which leads to a question about round penning, like why are we sending them away in the first place?
Right.
It brings up discussions we've talked about earlier, the distinction between training and schooling. Is it the first time with a horse in the round pen? Are you trying to initiate a bond, or do you have a bond that you're trying to now turn into a more focused work ethic? So there's a lot of variables here. You need to read the body language extremely well. There's a whole course on reading body language.
It's difficult to learn.
But it would come down to this, to not call a horse into you that is aggressively challenging you.
Right.
They can be distracted, they could still be stressed, but it wouldn't make horse sense to a horse that you would ask it to come be with you while it's out there sending you aggressive body language signals. So the point is, if there is aggressive defiance towards you, tell it to get away from you, herd it away, knowing how to do that appropriately with alignment. But it's not that we would always wait for a horse to be bowing or super relaxed to call it in, because some horses kind of get stuck in that one-track mind, and they actually need a turn to pivot the body, hopefully create more of a turn on the forward to help them relax a little more. A distracted horse could use some turns to get more focused. So it really isn't when do you call them in, it's when don't you call them in.
That is an interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah. So
I would add one last thing to this subject, and that is when you first go in the round pen, there needs to be a reason why you would send the horse away.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too.
Yeah, training or schooling phase. I ask my students, when you go in the round pen for the first time with a horse, just go stand in the middle and be as still, be aloof, and be as still as possible, but watch the horse with acute awareness and wait for the first little challenging signal. You know, the horse flips a nose at you, steps into you on the inside forehand, bends into you, turns its hindquarters to you, gives you a little, hey, do you see this? And then you have a legitimate reason to send them away.
It's interesting because so many people just go into the round pen, start round penning, start pushing, don't even think about it. So that's way better, I think. You started up better, right?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there is a reason behind round penning, that we need to know the biomechanics of how to use our body correctly in alignment with the horse's body, which we've talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So that's the biomechanics of how. But you could biomechanically be doing something correctly and have a horse wondering why, because like I'm sending you all these passive respectful signals. Why are you sending me away? On the other hand, I'm sending you defiant challenges. Why are you calling me in?
Yeah.
So we do need to add a little bit of round pen reasoning with horse sense and horse psychology to the mechanics, the why with the how. So don't call them in when they're challenging you. No reason to send them away if they're not.
Thank you for that information. I think that answers the question. And if you have more questions, please send them in. And see you next time.
Spur you later.